Success in business sometimes takes revolutionary thinking. That's what a Western Massachusetts golf ball manufacturer needed to turn its money-losing operation into a money-maker in just a year. NECN business reporter Mont Fennell tells us Callaway Golf did it with the help of a unique Massachusetts program that retrains workers.
A decade ago, the Spalding plant in Chicopee, Massachusetts made the country's #1 selling golf ball. But 5 years later, partly due to growing competition from companies producing balls overseas more cheaply, Spalding went bankrupt. 1,500 workers lost their jobs.
A couple of years ago, there were talks about just, closing the plant.
In 2003, California company Callaway bought the golf division. But even after trimming the workforce and installing new equipment, the plant remained inefficient and lost money.
If we didn't change anything, we were going to continue to be in trouble.
By chance, an engineer heard the company could apply for a state workforce training grant. Massachusetts gave Callaway $325,000 to hire consultants from the nonprofit Greater Boston Manufacturing Partnership. Consultants spent hundreds of hours looking at what Callaway was doing wrong, examining even the most minute detail, and telling workers how they could improve.
This grant was a godsend for us.
Workers learned the Japanese process called Kaizen, or continuous improvement. By standardizing work methods and empowering employees to find ways to eliminate wasted effort and materials, the company just might turn losses into profits.
You're doing more with less.
Now before, workers packaging balls had to stop to go find the right balls and corresponding packaging, which had no defined storage place in the huge factory.
And when they're searching for things, they're not making product. They're not adding value.
Now workers are assigned to bring the right materials to the packagers. Each packager also has her own set of tools, which before were scattered about.
It's all pre-planned. It's almost like a stock car racer. He comes into the pit area and he knows exactly what he needs to do. Everyone knows their position, and then they have so much time to do it in.
Work areas were reorganized to reduce movement. Now when folks need to walk, they know where to find it, like the marked areas for dustpans and brooms.
As simple as that sounds, that has a huge impact.
Experts taught Callaway to practice lean manufacturing. Before, workers produced mountains of barrels of balls even though they had not been ordered. Now, just-in-time practices keep inventory levels low and have freed up space.
That's money that's now available to do whatever you want for investments in capital and cash flow.
Workers are now moving product faster. Before, it would take up to 25 days to get orders out. Now, just 4 to 5. That makes happy customers, generating more sales.
I'll pay a little bit more to get something now when I want it versus having to wait for it.
So, thanks largely to the state's workforce training program, the Callaway plant has turned a loss of several $1 million last year to a profit this year exceeding 7 figures.
We've been able to do is prove that you could still make product in the United States and make it work.
Massachusetts companies fund the state's training program with a yearly $8 surcharge per employee. In 9 years, it's awarded more than 4,000 grants worth about $150 million. It's trained more than 200,000 workers.
If we did not get this grant, we wouldn't be talking right now. It's that impactful.
90% of companies surveyed say the training program has increased worker productivity, and 96% would recommend it to others.
I'm laughing because I can't believe only 96% recommend it. That's what I'm talking about. The 4% that don't recommend it, it blows my mind. I mean, why? Why would you not want to do this?
Well, the process has not been easy. Many workers feared the term lean manufacturing could lead to job cuts.
They're thinking that we're going to take people away. They're going to have to work twice as hard.
I've had people look me in the eye when we first started this, to my face and say, I'm not doing this.
But in the last couple of years, layoffs have been few, and execs hope to begin adding to the 700 employees as the busy plant now has so much room to expand.
I would love at some point to roll by this plant and see 2,200 cars parked out in the parking lot again.
In Chicopee, Mass, Mont Fennell, NECN.
Well, we're back again with Paul Grogan, President and CEO of the Boston Foundation. Glenn Camiso is Executive Director of the Massachusetts Life Sciences Collaborative. Micho Spring, President of Weber Shandwick of New England. Stan McGee, Governor Patrick Assistant Secretary for Policy and Planning. And Bill Gunther is CEO of Mass Insight and Global Massachusetts 2015, winning the competition for talent. That's a remarkable story, and Mont had some pretty impressive statistics regarding Callaway. And Stan, that's something you know a bit about, so tell us more.
Well, I love that story, and thinking back about the governor right now beginning to start his next business day in Shanghai in China, I'm reminded that the words for crisis or challenge and opportunity in Chinese share the same character. This is a great example where we've identified some needs and pursued them. There's a $325,000 grant for lean manufacturing in Chicopee. When the company was acquired by Callaway, they were really doing it solely for the intellectual property of the golf balls. No expectation to be used for manufacturing. Now there's 600 people there, possible expansion for another 800. It's a remarkable story, and there's so many more like that come through our Mass Office of Business Development.
One of the heartening things about that is I think we've come to believe that we can't manufacture things in the United States anymore. And there's more manufacturing going on here, including in Massachusetts, than we realize.
Yeah,
right, Bill?
no, that's absolutely right. If you look at the numbers, and Stan knows this well, the output's actually up, even though the employment is somewhat down. So it's more productive manufacturing of this kind. But there are a couple of other lessons in here. One is we've really got two economies in the state, and the cost of doing business in Western Mass looks closer to North Carolina than it does to Eastern Mass. So we can compete for different kinds of things out there. And the other point is that this is all about talent. And if you have the talent, as we say, the jobs will come. This is a particular type of manufacturing talent that existed out there and got some additional training. We kept the jobs. There's a Swiss dental implant medical device company called Straumann that did a national search, located a manufacturing plant outside Andover. And the reason they did was because of the workforce up there, which is very good at doing precision manufacturing. So investing, again, in these kinds of programs, but also looking at the universities and community colleges is a critical piece of this.
That's a pretty economical investment, too.
Well, I think that exactly. You have to invest, and you have to be willing to make the investment. In Western Mass and the Pioneer Valley, the 32 towns that have no high-speed internet access, you have to be willing to invest if you are expecting companies, and more importantly, their employees want to locate there. But you've got good schools, great housing stock, no reason why we shouldn't be able to compete.